Well, the portal taketh, and we hope eventually the portal giveth.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson, that's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein, that's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. We'll talk about FanDuel in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for joining us every day because you have made Locked On the number one sports podcast network there is, and we appreciate you so very much. First of all, Lord, I hate doing this, but apparently we have been Hunter Johnson, and
we did get Hunter Johnson.
Hunter posted something that apparently came from ChatGPT or something that was supposed to be something that Philip Marshall wrote, but he didn't write it apparently, and we didn't really go off on him. We just disputed some of the claims in there, and so I need to at the very least say, hey, I'm sorry we did that, and so I'm saying I'm sorry we did that. That's not we want to make fun of you for stuff you actually do, not made up stuff.
We were the fish that ate a plastic worm, like a rubber worm, and thought it was a real worm.
Oh, that is
so we're in the boat. Good. We're in the boat, feeling sheepish as we lay in the live well.
Yeah, that is a very, very good way to put that, because I think that is very true. Now, here's the thing: the portal.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
I wish we were making this stuff up.
Yeah, look, I'd much rather get on here and talk about Philip Marshall. Okay,
not reporting fake news this time around.
Some big names have entered the portal for Alabama: Wilikin, Formby, Keon, Keeley, and who am I missing? Rico Scott. Okay. Look, it's not the end of the world for any of them. However, it's death by 1,000 cuts now. I mean, there are a lot of dudes in this portal from Alabama. I'm not here to tell you we're going to miss Wilikin Formby like we've never missed anybody before. He probably wants to play right tackle somewhere, or maybe even left tackle, and that's what he's always kind of played, but he got pushed to the inside this year because Michael Carroll really came on the scene. And so maybe he just wants to – he's probably getting some pretty good offers, because tackles are always valuable to some people. And they always, when you're another team and you see a flawed tackle, you're like a girl who sees a guy she wants, and even though he's screwed up, she goes, I can fix him. That's probably what they're doing, like, I can fix him. So, and maybe, look, Seth McLaughlin worked for him.
Well, I mean, I see those situations, super differently. But yeah, I mean, I think here's one thing that I see alike in them. I've seen too much of this already. Don't be the guy that ripped on Formby all year and attacked him online for being bad, and now you're mad that he's in the portal. Don't be that. Be that guy. Now, if you're like, hey, I think he's actually a pretty good player, and I wish he was coming back because we need all the good offensive line we can get. Okay, you can be upset that he's in the portal, but not the ones that ripped on him all season. He's a good player. Last year it's not a secret. Last year he was offered 7 figures to leave. This year there's new rules about that, and but last year was offered 7 figures to leave by another SEC school, and some Alabama fans were just shocked. They're like, how can they value that kid so highly? But Wilikin chose to stay. I think a huge factor here, and I know the Formby's situation pretty well, but a huge factor here is he wants to play tackle, and that wasn't going to happen at Alabama. Alabama would rather stick with the tackles they have in Michael Carroll and Jackson Lloyd. So that's a big thing. He wants to play in the NFL. He wants to be an NFL tackle. Why? Well, tackles make a lot more money than guards. That's one thing. But Wilikin is more comfortable at tackle. And another SEC school, that's funny, Justin. Another SEC school, is making a big time offer to Wilikin, at least one, and I believe there's going to be more. So I think it is going to be a big money deal, and he is going to wind up in the SEC playing tackle. Alabama likes the tackles they have, so they weren't going to be willing to give him starter tackle money. Other SEC schools are. This is a little bit of a blow to Alabama because I do think that this is the first guy that I would project as a starter. I was just projecting him to start at guard, and I don't think Wilikin wants to do that. So I think that's ultimately the story. But at the same time, he's kind of a whipping boy on these message boards. His family's all local. They see that every day. That's got to wear on them as well. But Wilikin Formby, the first guy I would project to be a starter next year out. Now you've got to obviously do well in the portal if you're for Alabama on the offensive line, which is now has very paltry numbers, especially when it comes to experienced guys. They don't have many left.
First of all, for those who didn't see it, Justin Clayton, who is an Auburn fan and listening, we appreciate you. He said Auburn can fix Ryan Williams in the comments. First of all,
I've compared Ryan to Seth. You mentioned Seth earlier. I think Ryan's drops are similar to Seth's issues with snapping the ball. I think it's the yips that happen to athletes who play sports some of the time. They're most often cured with hard work and time. Seth cured them and became the number one center in college football, won the Remington Award, first team All-American, because he fixed the yips. I think Ryan will do something similar. I'm just glad he's going to do it at Alabama, not Ohio State, like Seth was sort of half forced to do.
Yeah. I hear you. And second of all, I would say, look, if you're an Auburn fan, don't come in here saying y'all are going to fix a wide receiver when you hadn't had a 1,000-yard wide receiver since 1999. Y'all are much more known for breaking wide receivers than you are fixing them. So
that's a good point.
Now, that being said,
oddly, we are now depending on Auburn's former wide receiver coach to fix Ryan Williams. Though Ryan is actually, I mean, just like all these guys, all these guys have private trainers, private work guys. Ryan's going to work immediately. He's not going to wait till spring practice with Derek Nix to fix his issues. He's going to work immediately. There are private tutors and such and private coaches that all these guys have that they rely on, and Ryan will go to work immediately. He's not waiting until March.
And look, just because we're talking about Ryan, Justin also follows it up with, would you trade Williams for Coleman? And boy, it used to be heck no. Now I'm going to say no, because I still love Ryan Williams so much because he's such a gump.
Ryan Williams podcast.
It's I'm going to say asterisk, formally and pending Ryan Williams podcast. Pending.
You know, I get the question, and I think a fair question is who's the better football player, Ryan Williams or Cam Coleman? That's fun. But the whole would you rather have, it's not like that's a corner you're in, like you can only have one or the other. It's not like a real sports thing at Alabama. Would you rather have this one? Because if you have this one, you can't have the other. That's not true. They could have both. I think one of the big issues with Cam is, of course, the asset allocation. That's a phrase I use all the time. And it's why it's the best phrase to describe it. If you want to overspend, those that are like, we've got to add Cam Coleman, that's fine. But then you're going to be short somewhere at linebacker. Mm-hmm. Now you've got a linebacker from Rhode Island that you're starting inside linebacker because you overspent at wide receiver. That's the problem with going big multiple times at one position.
Yeah. Oh, me. Okay.
But anyway, that's a Formby situation. It's up to Alabama. Alabama's got to do well in the portal. They're certainly looking at the kid Riker from Texas State. He went in the portal and 1 million people immediately offered, including Alabama. He's apparently a high priority for Alabama. Doesn't mean Alabama will get him, but hey, one of the silver linings to guys like Formby leaving, who's a projected starter, is it frees up money. I mean, Formby was making good money. He was a starter at Alabama and was making good starter money. That money is now freed up.
Yeah, but we got to spend it on somebody. So we need to spend it on. And here's the thing: you may need to spend even more than that to get somebody. But if he's better, and again, we're a little biased because we've seen Wilikin Formby play, and while I would say he's certainly not terrible, he's a starter at Alabama. It's a big deal. He also, somebody's about to overspend for him. I got a sneaky suspicion. So more power to him. By the way, Olas Alinen, he is visiting Auburn, and I think one other SEC school, maybe Kentucky or something like that. And I mean, more power to him.
I'll project that, and this isn't crazy, and it has nothing to do with what I think Alabama should have offered Olaus to stay, but he'll start wherever he goes. He'll be a starter.
Yeah.
If you mentioned Auburn, Kentucky, I think he'd be a starter at either place next fall.
Talking a little FanDuel now. Fridays always feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the season with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Opening the FanDuel app during happy hour always brings something new, boosts and bonuses and surprises. It adds extra energy to a Friday night basketball game without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 5 to 6:30 Central. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sports bet partner of the NBA. Memo to self to quit doing NBA so long, because what it does is it puts this space when I'm supposed to put an ad in, and I may screw up and put the ad in the wrong spot. And so when I come back, I'll go NB, then you'll have an ad, then an A.
Yeah.
But if you subscribe to the Everydayer Club, you won't even have to worry about that, because guess what? No ads in that mother. LockedOnBama.com/Everydayer Club. LockedOnBama.com/Everydayer Club. $5 a month or $50 for the year. Not what a deal. $60 for the year or $5 a month. Either way you want to go. That'd be stupid.
It's $50 for the year.
It's 50. Mm-hmm. It is.
The maths that way.
So we decided, because the portal was so active this afternoon, we were going to Bill O'Reilly this thing and just screw it. We'll go live. We'll just go live. You remember that? Remember him doing that?
Now that you say that.
So Keon, Keeley, and Rico Scott. Rico, I think we all hoped. I always had visions of John Mechie dancing in my head of Rico Scott.
Couldn't agree more. That's the best job for him.
So then it never materialized, and kind of like Jalen Hale, not injuries, but just for other reasons, he wasn't on the field that much. And I just feel like, okay, I get it. You want to go somewhere else. Also, you are from Pennsylvania. Maybe the Penn State folks give him a call. I'm taking a guess. Okay, I get that. Keon Keeley is a little more puzzling to me in this sense. Number one, forget the Indiana game that everybody played like crap. But the Oklahoma game, he really stepped up. He really came on, and you thought, oh my God, it's the lights on for this guy. And now, okay, let's get a good solid year out of him. And he hung around Alabama when he wasn't playing. And now that he is playing, he's going to leave. It's probably a money thing. You can always bank on it. But I don't know. I just feel like if I were him, I'd want to see this thing through. I mean, I'm sure Alabama is going to pay him something. And, is it going to be $700,000 at Alabama or $900,000 somewhere else? I know the difference is $200,000. I'm just saying, though, you got some opportunity cost and legacy costs mixed in there too.
Yeah, I was real disappointed, really, about both. Now, with Rico Scott, about both Rico and Keon and Formby. I mean, I'm disappointed in the sense that I think Formby's a good player. I think he's a good SEC offensive lineman, especially next year. Let's remember, we've just seen him play 2 seasons as a freshman and sophomore. I mean, Formby's going to be a junior in the fall. I think he's going to be a much better player as a redshirt junior, but I liked him at guard, not so much tackle. So that's why he's leaving. Rico, he was really Alabama's fifth wide receiver this fall, and he playing first half of the season, is playing about 30 snaps a game. That really fell off late. Weirdly at Alabama, as you know, everybody that listens to the show, I complain all the time we play too many players. Wide receiver is the one position we don't. Kind of weird. We don't play too many receivers. At the end of the year, the only wide receivers who were playing any appreciable snaps were Jeremy, Horton, Ryan, and who am I missing? Jeremy, Horton,
Williams?
Ryan, Lottie Burks. Lottie. Jeremy, Lottie, Ryan, Zay Horton. They were playing all the wide receiver snaps. So I get that Rico got frustrated and left, but, Jeremy's leaving. Zay may be leaving. I just saw Rico as, you're in the first group next year. That was a little frustrating to me. But at the same time, were you going to pay Rico Scott what you're paying Ryan and Lottie? No. But anyway, that's that situation. Keeley, I agree. Totally frustrated that we live. This is, I can almost hear Freddie Roach and Alabama's coaches now. Keeley was a developmental prospect based on his size change, his position change. He's a developmental. Alabama developed him. 3 years they poured into him. 3 years. Now he's ready and he leaves. That part is really frustrating for coaches. Like, we spent 3 years building the dude and someone else is going to reap the benefits of this. But I also think to some extent what's happening here is money. Does Alabama look at Keeley as an every down player? Does Alabama look at him as a full-time starter? Is Alabama ready to commit to him financially in that realm? And meanwhile, someone's blowing him up with like, hey, we'll pay you $1 million up here, or whatever it is. So that it's unfortunate. To me, the three guys today, Luke, were three guys that I considered starters or co-starters next fall. And they're really the first starters to go. Last couple days, we've lost guys that I think are talented, like Mbakwe, like Noah Carter, but they weren't starters and they weren't going to start next year. Keeley, Formby, and Rico were probably number one type players for Alabama in the fall. So that's a little concerning. But for anybody that just can't wait to panic and leap off, a skyscraper, Alabama hasn't started adding yet. Let's see who Alabama adds and see how it ends up. I'm still willing to guess that Alabama may be a winner. Don't spoil it. I'm not going to say I think Alabama's going to be a winner in the portal cycle, not a loser.
I get you. I'm feeling you. And the vibe I'm getting from the comments is most of them seem to be like, Wilikin Formby wasn't any good. And look, I don't think either one of us is saying Wilikin Formby's on an all-time Bama team or an all 2020s Bama team. But he was our starter.
For 2 years.
For 2 years. And it means a little something. Again, he knows the system. He has been in the trenches. That counts for something. I'm here to tell you, I'm not crying at all Wilikin Formby's leaving. Okay, go for it. If somebody's giving you a bunch of money, you need to go get that bag, big fella, because I'm sure Alabama's bag is not going to be as big as whatever the other bag is. And that's fine. I think that's what this is sort of all about. However, to say this, we could very well upgrade. We very well could upgrade.
Might.
In fact, I'd be willing to bet that we do upgrade.
Might.
However, we haven't yet. So while I think it's fair for people to be like, hey, good riddance to bad rubbish. I did that the other day. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
I said a queese. Even have my sister.
You did say a queese the other day.
My sister had given me grief over them. I'm taking hits from my own sister over saying that.
That was about the worst I think I've heard. And I remember thinking, I was like, you said it so confidently. I had to Google it and be sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's acquiesce. But anyway, so it's not a lie if you believe it. But anyway, so what you got to quit hitting that sweater.
I know it's. I thought
you're doing it right now.
I thought I had pockets in there, and I don't. So I'm sticking my hand in a non-pocket. That's worse than acquiesce.
No, I'm seeing your microphone is hitting it.
Yeah,
your microphone's
hitting the that's why I was trying to kind of fix it, and I'm like, well, I'll just do this with a pocket. I made it worse. I'm doing worse than simply mispronouncing common names. But
very true.
The problem on the offensive line to me right now is for the people like, yeah, Formby's gone. Okay, who are you replacing Wilikin Formby with? I mean, some SEC staff is willing to make Wilikin Formby pretty wealthy here, and I know some fans are, oh, he's not good. Some coaching staffs in the SEC think he's pretty good.
All right, I'll give the Hoosiers another shout out because some of them have hate watched, and we appreciate you. Views of you, and he says Hoosiers whoop y'all's
football team. They're a great football team.
We agree. They're great. I'm sort of hoping this. I'm sort of hoping this is Louisiana Monroe moment for us. I'm sort of hoping that like a butt whooping like that puts a hard reset. I mean, it's one of those hold the two buttons down on the telephone. Not a telephone, a cell phone. Put, blow into the cartridge of the Nintendo.
I do think some of what we're seeing right now with the offensive line in the portal, I'm not saying it's a direct result of the Indiana result, but I do think we're seeing a blow up, rebuild, tear down of the offensive line and kind of starting all over there. And the Indiana game sort of exposed that as necessary, but I think they might have known it was necessary even before we got to better. But
listen, somebody else says Formby ain't worth a pack of Skittles. Anybody would be better, even a high school dude. Let me say this. I've chosen not to name this particular person for fear that I will run into him one day and he will kill me. But there was a particular offensive lineman back in the mid-2000s who I very famously said way before he had a podcast, I would rather put a paper sack filled with manure in his spot. And at least that way, the defensive line will go, why is there a sack of manure in front of me before he tried to tackle our quarterback? Because that guy was a human turnstile. He let people in so fast. He propelled defenders into our quarterback. Formby ain't that bad. I'm just telling you. He ain't that bad. He ain't Mike Shula offensive line bad.
When other SEC football staffs make large financial, and I'm talking about winning programs. I mean, winning big-time SEC programs. I mean, he's seen as a good player in the industry. I know among fans, some don't think so. He obviously has his struggles at times. Welcome to playing tackle in the SEC, but where, by the way, every week you're blocking the best pass rushers in college football, and it's a bit of a struggle. And I agree that we get too critical. I mean, I know we don't hear about our current team, but yeah, I mean, that was what's frustrating for me is the same people that think Formby's not good, or some of them are complaining that he's in the portal. But anyway, the real story there, for those wanting to know the story, the primary story behind any of it isn't necessarily money. The primary story is Wilikin wants to play tackle. And in Alabama, they have Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll and the portal. And Alabama sees him as a guard. And that can be the end of the story. And that's okay. That's okay.
He is. Oh, there he is.
No.
Jimmy cut out on us there. Yeah. I don't know if you lost me or I lost you. Either way.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. And when we come back, let's talk about some of the guys we're hoping Alabama's going to get here very shortly. But let's talk some game time. Y'all know I love game time. It's the best. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I used it for my Rose Bowl tickets. We'll see if they'll give me my money back. There's nothing like college football season, tailgates, packed stadiums, and being right there in the middle of it all. The energy, the bands, the moments you remember forever. But actually getting tickets, that part used to be frustrating with long queues and logins and prices jumping at checkout. Who wants all that crap? That's why Game Time gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to unlock amazing college football tickets and experiences in just a few taps. You can also do this for college basketball or the NBA or tennis or whatever you want. Knowing prices include all fees up front makes the whole process stress-free. I promise you that's true. I promise you. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege. It's all one word. For $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply because they apply to everything. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today and tell them I want to enact my Jimmy Stein guarantee. So I did put it on there, so we'll talk about it. Two entries into the NFL draft, Damani Jackson, LT Overton. I had some mild hope LT Overton would come back, but I've seen him in the first round in some mocks, no worse than second. He was gone. And so more power to go get that bag, buddy.
Well, he didn't have the eligibility to return. Neither one did. This is a new thing in college football. No, LT Overton did not.
What did he say?
Same reason that Damani Jackson, who also had no eligibility, left. This is a new thing in college football. All these guys who have to go to the NFL make these big announcements that I'm entering the draft. They used to not. I think the COVID stuff and all the COVID era when everybody was getting extra eligibility started this wave of stuff. But no, now Overton, LT Overton could have, I think, petitioned the NCAA for an extra year because of his issues, perhaps. But that would have, you're not certain you're going to get the waiver, and LT was probably just ready to play in the NFL. But no, both Overton and Damani Jackson played a full 4 years of college football. They just both played 2 years somewhere else before they got here. And no, they didn't come here as redshirted players. Both played significant games as true freshmen.
Huh. Okay. I was thinking there was going to be some COVID loophole that I didn't know about.
No.
Honest to God.
And they were post-COVID, actually.
Huh? I know it's
they were actually post-COVID.
But it's so, Diego Pavia is still suing, so you don't really know. But regardless, they ain't coming back.
No.
So,
no.
all right.
Now, those announcements drive me nuts because I'm like, yeah, you're going to the NFL. I mean, any other, Jan Miller. I mean, I suppose we'll get an announcement from him that he's headed to the NFL. Like, well, I mean, you played 4 years, so I suppose that's going to be your next plan.
Because the way they frame it is not like, hey, thanks. I love my time at Alabama.
Yeah. It's like, I've decided to enter the draft. I think there's some Diego Pavia to it, which is the, hey, I'm not going to fight for another year through the court system. But I think a lot of it started during the COVID years where there were players that had all this extra eligibility and you weren't sure whether they're going to the NFL or not after playing 4 and 5 years. I think it all started there. But Damani and LT Overton, I wish them luck. I think they're both day 3, but Overton might be day 2. Damani's going to put up day 2 measurables, but I don't know that he could lose, the job to a true freshman and come back. But anyway, both of them will be drafted, and I think both of them will be in the NFL. They'll make teams, both of them.
All right, so there is some potential good news coming down the tracks. Tompkins from USC, Woodson from Virginia Tech, and Smothers, who we assume has brothers, is from NC State. We believe now we're projecting them here on Locked On Bama. We're projecting them to commit. We're not this isn't a Jimmy Stein guarantee.
No.
This is a Jimmy Stein projection. We're projecting them to Bama.
I don't even really guarantee the Rugiet stuff and all that. So I'm certainly not guaranteeing this either. No, I like Alabama's chances with all 3 of those guys. I do. I'm very optimistic. Very optimistic. Obviously, when a kid's in the portal, there's a lot of moving parts because who knows who can swoop in with a bag, as the kids say. But I do think that we'll get good news soon. And I think when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, we may declare that Alabama won the portal. This is how you win the portal. If you're counting players, you don't get it. Don't count players. Because Alabama, I think they're at 16 now in the portal. If you're like, how can you say they won the portal? 19 players went in and you only signed 9. It's not the numbers that go in and the numbers you sign. It's who leaves and who's coming in. It's the quality. How is it affecting your starting lineup next year, for instance? We won't really know until all the dust clears. But we'll see that. And Justin's, noted Auburn fan, Justin Clayton, saying the running back room's crowded. That's true. It's true everywhere else. I mean, there'll be, if they add Smothers, there'll be 6 guys, but there were 6 guys this year.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 guys with one of them being, and I hate to use it this way because it sounds like we didn't really want him, a throw in at the last second running back guy that we need for depth. So it's crowded in the sense there are probably 6 guys. I think most everybody's got 5 to 6 guys. Yeah. And
I don't think the numbers are. I think what's crowded is 5 of the 6, because one's going to be a true freshman looking for snaps day 1. 5 of the 6 have a shot at the rotation. It's crowded in that sense, but that's a good thing because let the competition begin and Alabama's got to get better there. And boy, Smothers, AK Deer, Crowell, that'd be a nice three guys, but you also have Hill likely returning, Kevin Riley likely returning. They played this past year. I already mentioned Deer with the first 3. And of course, Trey Brown, who Luke was referencing. I think he's more of a developmental, let's see where he's at in a year type guy. But he has some promise. He definitely has some promise. He just won't be in the mix, I don't think, for first team snaps next fall. That would be surprising, though. Pleasant surprise. I'll take it if he shows up that good. He might.
Jalen Mbakwe has been projected to Ole Miss. I'm totally fine with that. Ole Miss has already got.
And for that, now I didn't know that till you just said it, but last year when Mbakwe was threatening to enter the portal, it was Ole Miss. So not surprising that they've.
But it is surprising in the sense that they got a whole new regime now. That'd be LSU.
Yeah, but I would assume Pete has had a lot to do with all of this, and then let's see. I'm curious as to what position Jalen plays over there. I'm watching that.
With Golding as the head coach, it seems like it'd make more sense for him to go back to DB.
I think he's going to play defense. I think.
Well, we don't play Ole Miss next year, so I mean, I'm sort of like wherever you transfer, as long as we don't play against you, I'm certainly pulling for you. Then there's some other folks in here in the comments. I know you have been very dismissive of this. Some folks are saying, hey, Ty should either go in the portal or go to the draft. I think Ty's either coming back or going to the draft. I think that's it. I don't think there's a portal possibility for him.
I don't think the portal for Ty is likely at all. I think the only way that would really happen, I mean, first of all, he would get some monster offers. I mean, let's say Oregon loses Dante Moore. That would be one. Tennessee's looking for a guy. Ty kind of grew up there. I mean, I think at one point in Ty's life, he probably felt he was going to be the quarterback at Tennessee. But no, I'm with Luke. I think Ty, and I think there'll be a decision soon, by the way. I think this is a live show on Sunday afternoon. I'll go. We might know something even as soon as Tuesday, Wednesday, or before on Ty, whether he's going to enter the draft and I think remain at Alabama. I'm with Luke. I think the portal is highly unlikely. So yeah. And again, decision soon.
So would you say it's like 50-50 stay or go?
I think it comes down to, and I think Tim Watts has talked about this at BOL and I've got some good Ty sources as well. I think it just comes down to this. How comfortable are they he would go in round one? How comfortable are they? I mean, if they feel like, I don't think they're going to walk away from a round one, hear it from the NFL round one projection. Not because Mel Kiper says he's going to round one, though I like Kiper. I think it's more like if the NFL believes he's a first round pick, I think he comes out. If the NFL's saying, well, we like you, but probably day two, then I think he would return to Alabama.
Okay.
So I think it literally just comes down to that.
By the way, congrats to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. They are now in the playoffs because the Falcons defeated the Saints. I'm good with that. Even though I think they're sacrificial lambs. I mean, the Rams, who have already beaten them once, I believe, this year, are going to go in there and probably beat them up pretty good.
Rams could win the Super Bowl.
How about this? Another guy, we're getting this, I thought I'd seen this somewhere, but I forgot to mention it. Chris McPherson, 202, not to be confused with Chris McPherson, 201, says Arizona State running back transfer Malik Brown, who was the number one running back in the country a couple years ago. He's been at, I think, Oklahoma, or at least committed to Oklahoma and USC, and he was somewhere else last year, maybe. But anyway, he may be visiting Alabama this week. Okay, now Justin would have a point. If Malik Brown were to come in and we were to offer him two, all of a sudden I'd be like, yeah, running back room is pretty crowded. It'd also make me think somebody else is leaving.
Well, someone could be leaving. That's not a crazy thought that Daniel Hill or Kevin Riley could leave. That's possible. I think, though, if Hill and Riley are staying, that Alabama is interested in a portal running back. They made that clear with Smothers, but they ain't got Smothers yet. And so they're gonna keep fishing until they feel like they pulled the right one in the boat. But once the right one's in the boat, I don't know that they're going to take a second running back.
I know YouTube adds numbers. I'm LS Robinson, something myself. It's a terrible dad joke, and it's a running dad joke that I have not stopped. It's like me saying game time. I started doing it. I can't stop. I want to stop. You guys want me to stop. I can't. I'm sorry. It's in my contract.
Game time wants you to stop. If game time wants you to stop, we're going to have to find a way. We're going to have to find a way.
All right, that's going to do it for this live episode. We had to go live because a lot of news. And if some more things happen, we'll probably be back tomorrow. Probably not going live again today. But we appreciate you guys. Love you very much. Go join the Everydayer Club, LockedOnBama.com/Everydayer Club. $5 a month, $50 for the year. It's like you can't afford not to join it. All right. Thanks for joining us. And until tomorrow, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.